Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. New polling from the Wall Street Journal shows something unexpected. Vice President Kamala Harris is closing in on former President Donald Trump. The 2024 US presidential election is about to begin, but it's getting weirder and unpredictable by the day. Now, on one side, we have Kamala Harris, the first black woman and the first Asian American to serve as vice president. And on the other, Donald Trump, the man who has defied every political norm and survived scandals that would have crushed anyone else. And just when you thought the election couldn't get more intense, Trump recently reignited controversy by questioning Harris's racial identity. And Harris, who is only on the ticket because she is a black woman, briefly responded to these comments by calling them divisive and disrespectful and reminded Americans that they deserve better. But can she really beat Trump, the guy who has survived 2 impeachments, an insurrection, and even what feels like a political assassination attempt? This is the man who's got an army of diehard followers who'll stick by him no matter what. But hold on, let's add a twist that seems straight out of a TV script. Fans are buzzing about a striking prediction from The Simpsons. Yes, the same show known for its bizarrely accurate forecasts. In a 2000 episode titled Bart to the Future, Lisa Simpson is depicted as the President of the United States, succeeding none other than Donald Trump. And here's where it gets intriguing. She's wearing a purple blazer and pearls, just like Kamala Harris did at her vice presidential inauguration. Was it a mere coincidence or something more? It's fascinating how fiction sometimes seems to mirror reality, isn't it? Now, back to a reality check, but first, let's take a moment to explore how Kamala Harris, the daughter of Indian and Jamaican immigrants, reached the point where she's nearly neck and neck with Donald Trump in the race for the most powerful office in the world. Harris's rise is like something out of a Hollywood movie. Born to an Indian mother and a Jamaican father, she grew up in a household that championed the values of justice and activism. Her mother, Shamala Gopalan, was a renowned breast cancer researcher, and her father, Donald Harris, was a professor of economics. This blend of intellectual rigor and advocacy was a powerful mix, and it's no wonder Harris pursued a career in law. She graduated from Howard University and later earned her law degree from the University of California, Hastings. Harris began her career as a deputy district attorney in San Francisco, tackling tough cases with a determination that set her apart. Her approach wasn't just about enforcing the law, it was about making a real difference in people's lives. This dedication caught the attention of many, and soon she was on the path to higher office. Fast forward to 2010, and Harris makes history as California's first black attorney general. Her tenure was marked by significant achievements. She fought against big banks during the foreclosure crisis and led efforts to address California's complex immigration issues. Her work didn't just make headlines, it changed lives, and it wasn't long before she was making waves on a national scale. In 2016, Harris took her talents to the US Senate. Her tenure in Washington was anything but ordinary. Whether she was questioning Supreme Court nominees or holding the Trump administration to account, Harris was relentless. Her sharp questioning and bold stances made her a prominent figure in a rapidly shifting political landscape. Then came 2020. With Joe Biden running for president, the Democratic Party needed a figure to counter the rising tide of Trumpism and offer a fresh vision. Enter Kamala Harris. Her selection as Biden's running mate was historic. Harris was the first black and South Asian American woman on the Democratic ticket. It was a powerful symbol of change, but it also came with enormous expectations. Harris's role as VP has been a mix of high-profile achievements and difficult challenges. She's been at the forefront of key issues like voting rights, immigration reform, and climate change. And let's not forget her diplomatic missions, representing the US on the global stage while navigating a complex domestic landscape. Now, as Biden steps down, Harris finds herself at the forefront of the 2024 election. And here's where things get interesting. Just months ago, the idea of a Harris versus Trump showdown seemed distant, almost unthinkable. Biden was the incumbent, Trump was mired in legal battles, and Harris's future was uncertain. And just weeks ago, Trump seemed to have a comfortable lead over Biden. Despite his polarizing persona, the former president was riding high in the polls, enjoying a resurgence fueled by his base's unwavering loyalty. It looked like Biden was on track for a significant defeat, with key demographics slipping away from him. But then, everything changed. Harris stepped into the spotlight, and the race shifted dramatically. Suddenly, those same polls that had Trump comfortably ahead showed a much tighter contest. Trump's lead, which had been as wide as 6 points in some surveys began to shrink rapidly. Now, he's only ahead by 1 or 2 points, depending on which poll you look at. But how did this happen? How did Kamala Harris, who had struggled with approval ratings throughout her vice presidency, suddenly become a formidable contender against the Republican juggernaut? It's not just about who Harris is, it's about what she represents. As a 59-year-old woman of color, she brings a different energy to the race, one that resonates with groups Biden was losing. Younger voters who had largely disengaged are starting to pay attention again. Black and Latino voters who felt overlooked are returning to the fold. The election is no longer a referendum on Biden's presidency, but a question of what the future of America could look like with Harris at the helm. This surge in support is giving Harris more potential paths to victory than Biden had. Biden's campaign strategy was focused heavily on the Rust Belt states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, where his margins were razor thin. For Harris, the map looks a bit different. Her improved numbers among minority voters make Sunbelt states like Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina much more competitive. These are places where Trump had been leading comfortably against Biden, but with Harris, they're suddenly in play. Could Harris actually flip these states and carve out a path to the White House that Biden couldn't? But the challenges are daunting. Harris needs to win over not just the Democratic base, but also independents and swing voters who are still on the fence. These voters often decide elections, and they're known for their unpredictability. Can Harris convince them that she's the right choice for America's future, or will they be swayed by Trump's promises of a return to the past? And let's not forget the elephant in the room: turnout. For Harris to win, voter turnout needs to be high, especially among the groups where she has the most support. In the 2020 election, record turnout helped Biden secure victory. Harris will need a similar surge in 2024 to overcome Trump's resilient base. But here's the twist. Trump isn't just any candidate. He's the political equivalent of a cat with 9 lives. Despite multiple indictments, a controversial presidency, and an assassination attempt that stunned the world, Trump's approval ratings are creeping toward their highest point in years. How is this possible? How can a man who's been out of the White House for 4 years still command such loyalty? It's not just about politics, it's about identity. Trump's base sees him as the ultimate outsider, a bulldozer against the so-called deep state. He's not just running against Harris, he's running against the system, the media, and anyone who challenges his vision of America. And let's be real, this resonates. His rallies are packed, his social media presence is formidable, and his supporters are fiercely loyal. But what's truly shocking is that Trump is not just surviving, he's thriving. Poll after poll shows him neck and neck with Harris, even slightly ahead. In a Wall Street Journal poll, Trump leads Harris by 2 points. A small margin, but significant in such a polarized race. For a candidate who has been impeached twice, this is nothing short of remarkable. And then there's the elephant in the room: Trump's legal troubles. Indictments? He wears them like badges of honor. Where most politicians would crumble, Trump's support only seems to harden. His narrative of being a victim of political persecution fuels his campaign, turning courtrooms into stages and legal battles into talking points. But while Trump relishes in his battles, the Democrats face their own challenge. Who could possibly take on this political juggernaut? Kamala Harris is the obvious choice, but are there better alternatives within the party? Let's start with the wild card everyone secretly wishes would run: Michelle Obama. She's the name whispered in every political circle, the ultimate dream candidate for many Democrats. With sky-high approval ratings and a charisma that transcends politics, Michelle Obama could electrify the base like no one else. Remember, during her 8 years as First Lady, she wasn't just a ceremonial figure. She was a powerful voice on issues like education, health, and equality. Her 2018 memoir, Becoming, sold over 14 million copies worldwide. Imagine if that popularity translated into votes. And let's not forget Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's been in the spotlight for his progressive policies and handling of crises, from wildfires to the pandemic. Newsom's approval ratings are solid in a state that's a microcosm of the Democratic electorate. He's young, energetic, and has a flair for the dramatic. Remember when he challenged Ron DeSantis to a debate? Who does that? And then there's Gretchen Whitmer, the no-nonsense governor of Michigan. Her leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic won her both praise and criticism, but one thing's for sure, she's battle-tested. Whitmer's appeal lies in her ability to connect with working-class voters in key swing states. Could she be the candidate who flips Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin back to blue? Her pragmatic approach and Midwestern roots give her an edge in regions where Democrats have struggled. Finally, let's not forget Pete Buttigieg, the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and current Secretary of Transportation, has already proven he can hold his own on the national stage. Buttigieg's youth, intellect, and calm demeanor offer a sharp contrast to Trump's bombast. He's managed to navigate the complex political landscape with ease, making him a candidate who could appeal to both young voters and those longing for a return to a more measured political discourse. But here's the twist: despite the potential of these contenders, they all face the daunting task of uniting a Democratic Party that's more fractured than it's been in years. The progressive wing is restless, the moderate base is wary, and the specter of another Trump presidency looms large. So who can take on Trump in 2024? Will it be Kamala Harris, the first woman of color on a major party ticket? Will Michelle Obama surprise everyone with a last-minute entry? Or will it be one of the other rising stars in the Democratic Party? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting content. See you next time.